What if Doctor Who hadn't been axed in 1989? That's something many have tried to get at, and now it's my turn. I'll be going through this concept at the rate of one season per episode. These videos are based on information released by the BBC, and as said by Andrew Cartmel, John Nathan Turner, Sylvester McCoy, Ben Aaronovitch, and some other people. Doctor Who magazine 255, that issue from 1997 about what Doctor Who wasn't axed, stories from the Virgin New Adventures, Big Finish, the television movie, and the modern series of Doctor Who, with a lot, and I mean a lot, of guesswork. Season 33 would have been Paul McGann's first season as the Doctor and Daphne Ashbrook's first full season as Dr. Grace Holloway. It would have debuted in July of 1996 and ran throughout the remaining year. As there was a new Doctor, a new title sequence was produced. It would have been the first one to have the main cast name in and would have held a striking resemblance to that of Doctor Who's main competitor, Star Trek. A new theme tune was produced with more orchestra feel as the BBC Radiophonic Workshop was coming to an end. This theme was arranged by the 1986 theme composer Dominic Lynn. Also, the episode number had been changed. The series had been extended from 24 episodes to 32 episodes, and instead of having 5 stories, 2 being 6 parts and 3 being 4 parts, there were now 8 stories, all being 4 parts. The logo had also been changed from the brownish colour of previous seasons to a blue colour. The TARDIS lands in Sydney, Australia, with a post-regenerated Doctor who is suffering from slight amnesia. Grace seeks help at the local hospital, but they turned her away. As she nurses the Doctor back to health, Grace hears a loud scream from outside the TARDIS. She goes to investigate and finds the girl who screamed, except she was the size of a mouse. The Master. This story carries on from where the last season left off, and it also sees Anthony Ainley's last appearance as the Master after having a 16-year tenure. It also introduces the new Doctor and has a good story while also taking into account Grace's profession. This story heavily relies on Grace as the Doctor isn't really in a position to do much himself. It also takes place in Australia as Garwood wanted to make the show feel more global and not just based in London. The Zygons are seeking refuge in Zeti Theta 6, and the Doctor comes calling. They mean no harm. Their planet has been destroyed and they are homeless, but the Doctor doesn't believe that and he interferes. This causes all the Zygons to act in defence. The Doctor must be stopped at all costs. Will he see the error of his ways? This story features the return of the Zygons, last seen in 1976's Terror of the Zygons, and this marks their 20th anniversary. It also shows the Zygons in a nicer light, but shows that if they are attacked they must defend themselves, and the Doctor causes all the problems as he can't believe that the Zygons aren't trying to take over the world. He is very small-minded in the story. The story also acts as a moral message and proves the Doctor isn't always right. In an abandoned house, the Weeping Angels wait. The only hope to stop them is a young woman named Sally Sparrow and her friend Larry Nightingale. The only catch, the Weeping Angels can move at the blink of an eye. To defeat the ruthless enemy, with only half a conversation from the Doctor's help, the rule is this: don't turn your back, don't look away, and don't blink. Yes, you know the drill. Stephen Moffat started to write for the show by now, and he said he had this one in mind for a long time. This is Blink, but in 4 parts, with McGann. Enjoy. People of Red Rocket Rising, my fellow citizens, a long night is over. I've been contacted by benevolent people. They too have known great trials, but they have overcome them and made it their mission to help others do the same. They have offered us refuge and passage to the nearest human worlds. They had the resources and the patience and the compassion to evacuate every one of us. My fellow citizens, my friends, rescues is at hand. This one is based upon the popular Big Finish adventure and it features the Daleks. The Doctor isn't too pleased to see them after the death of Bernice and Henrik last season, so he does a bit more to stop them than expected. This really shows the darker nature of the Doctor, as he really hates the Daleks. Lying dormant beneath the city of Paltawine on Islia 9 lies Ernestine, not dead no, but dormant, waiting to be dug up. That's what happened when an archaeologist decides to dig it up, and chaos occurs. The Doctor and Grace stand 6 months later, and the Autons have seized control of Paltawine. Only the Doctor is stopping them from taking the hold of Islia 9. This story would have been odd. It would have been written by Pip and Jane Baker, whose last 2 outings with Doctor Who have gone down as some of the worst stories ever. but for some reason they were chosen and it didn't turn out well. The story tries to bring back the Autons but in a very bad way. The story comes off as cheesy and over the top. However, it was originally to be set on Earth, but Garwood had it changed to an alien planet because 1. He hated alien invasion stories on Earth because they always held no impact in the future. And 2. They wanted to use more alien planets as they were again competing with Star Trek. After the Doctor's previous encounter with the Daleks not long ago, they seek revenge. More revenge than the Doctor could imagine. The Doctor seeks revenge for the death of Bernice and Henrik. The fight takes him to Tempros, where a legend awaits. The Daleks have made their second appearance in the season just one story apart. Why? Because it attracted more viewers, and you can never get enough of those. However, it does nicely carry on the Doctor's revenge plot and make the Doctor to be feared. This Doctor hates the Daleks more than most. However, it is a bit cheap that they did bring back the Daleks so soon after, but overall it does work. The Doctor and Grace find themselves in a fantastical world of elves and goblins. A world where science makes way for spells, a world called Mythos. There they meet a wizard who enlists their aid, and together with some of the enchanted inhabitants of Mythos, they are pitted against a wicked necromancer and his evil hordes. This story fell to the lighter side of the series, with the last story being as dark as it was. This had to be light-hearted, not unlike a Moffat Xmas special. This really would annoy the Doctor and make the driving focus being getting off the planet. News 24/7. News on the hour, every hour. News 24/7. Broadcasting to Colony 34 all day, every day. News 24/7. Constantly updated every minute of every hour. News 24/7. Sport, weather, business, local news, interplanetary affairs. News 24/7. Live, independent, accurate and comprehensive. News 24/7. All news every day, every day. Reports are coming in of explosion. On the line now is leader of the FPD. The president is about to begin his address. We can see the bodies in the wreckage. This story would have been just told through news reports on the television, a bit like Series 9 Sleep No More, but it would be through the television. It would have shown what else Doctor Who could do, and it would have shown the Doctor and Grace from an outsider's perspective.